Alrighty guys, and welcome back. We're going to be having a look at our Michael Myers build and its updated and why I recommend my updated build. Now I want to quickly point out some honorable mentions for builds that I do recommend at rank 1 on Myers. You might not like the relying on luck perk being ruined, so another build I recommend just for those players would be Corrupt Intervention, Discordance, Pop, and either Thrilling Tremor or obviously Monitor and Abuse. It works really, really well. It's strong, and it's going to allow you to come around the corner and get some pretty good hits out too. However, this is the build I do recommend. You could go Surgeon Surveillance as well for those kind of players that are interested in that. This is my personal favorite build. Now, as always, we're starting with Ruin. Ruin can break in 10 seconds. Rule of thumb is Michael Myers. I don't care if Ruin breaks as long as I get out of stage 1 by the time it does break. Okay, I'm going to be moving at 105% movement speed with a 0 meter heartbeat in tier 1, okay? 105% is only 5% quicker than a survivor. It's not fast at all. It's going to take me a long time to go around the board as well, so I want to make sure I get as much stalk as possible. There is a little bit of a bug with Michael Myers and Ghostface right now. When you stalk a survivor, if they break line of sight while stalking, it rubber bands back due to lag on dedicated servers, but, you know, it shouldn't be enough to make you not want to play the killer at all, so prepping can be a little sticky. Okay, so Ruin, if they miss a skill check, it goes back an additional 3%, so it goes back 8%. However, if they land a good skill check, it goes back 5% of what it's done. If a Jenny is at 79.9 seconds completed, it'll go back 4 seconds, and then it will stall for about a second before survivors can continue to work on the Jenny. They don't have to let go, they can just stay on it and work through the stall. The next perk we're looking at is Thrilling Tremor. This is my information perk, okay? Normally, I don't recommend an information perk. I don't think you need an information perk, but on a time-sensitive killer, like Michael Myers, I like having an informational perk. This is going to give me stall throughout the board. It's going to seal Jennies, and I'm going to be able to know where I need to go with my Pop Goes the Weasel for value. I can't tell you it's maximum value because I don't have Discordance, but I can tell you it's good value regardless. It's going to give me good information, good stall, and just going to help me go throughout the board. If I, for whatever reason, catch somebody at the beginning of the game and I hook him, then I can go straight towards a Jenny. I know other people are if I grab somebody off a generator because I had a 0 meter heartbeat. There are stranger things have happened. Pop Goes the Weasel is going to allow me to have stall throughout the entire board. It's going to work really well for me as well. It's going to allow me to hand in hand. This is going to be what prolongs the game, keeps the game going, not Ruin. I don't rely on Ruin. This here rewards you for playing really well, but punishes you for playing poorly. So if you play really well, you get massive value out of it. And that's why I love this perk. It's one of my favorite perks. In fact, it is my favorite killer perk in the game, Pop Goes the Weasel. It regresses a Jenny by 25% of what is completed on it too. However, if a Jenny's at like 10%, it'll regress the whole thing. That being said, if a Jenny is at 79.9 seconds, so 99.9% completed, and you kick it, it'll go back 20 seconds and start regression. Huge, but you have to kick a Jenny within 1 minute of hooking a survivor. Therefore, Thrilling Tremor, you've got to be smart with which Jenny you choose to go to, and if you choose to kick it or chase the person off it. Next perk's going to come in huge handy on Michael Myers. It is by far, I'm going to tell you, Michael Myers' best perk, okay? Now, why is it Michael Myers' best perk? First of all, basic Michael Myers math. He moves at 105% movement speed with a 0 meter heartbeat in tier 1. When he stalks a survivor for a period of time by holding the M2 button, they will glow white and they will slowly turn red. When they turn red, you can no longer stalk them anymore throughout the trial. So he will hit stage 1, which will be a bar going around in the bottom left-hand corner. Then it will say stage 2. Stage 2, Michael Myers moves at 115% and has a 16 meter heartbeat. I just want to clear something up with you. The Trapper has a 32 meter heartbeat. The Trapper with Modern Abuse has a 24 meter heartbeat. Michael Myers, by default, in stage 2, has a 16 meter heartbeat. He has a half the size heartbeat as the Trapper. And if the Trapper runs Modern Abuse, he has built-in Modern Abuse on the Trapper's Modern Abuse. So he has 8 meters smaller than the Trapper running Modern Abuse. And then guess what? You can actually run Modern Abuse. So his 16 meter heartbeat becomes an 8 meter heartbeat. 8 meter heartbeat moving at 115% movement speed. That is not a lot of time to react. So it goes well with perks like Discordance. It goes really, really good in terms of catching people off guard because you come around the corner really fast with no heartbeat. You're going to get an M1 or a free pallet on, I'm going to say 19 out of 20 people unless they saw you coming from the distance. So do keep that in mind. Very devastating perk. By far, in my opinion, the most lethal on Michael Myers. A lot of perks can work well, like Bamboozled, but I haven't even spoke about stage 3. So stage 2, Michael Myers with Modern Abuse is amazing, okay? It makes him have an 8 meter heartbeat. There is an add-on here that I want to call out called the Dead Rabbit, right? It moderately decreases your heartbeat and moderately increases your heartbeat, okay? So it decreases your heartbeat of stage 2, but increases your heartbeat of stage 3. Stage 2 goes down by 25%, and I'm pretty sure stage 3 goes up by 25%. So 25% of Michael Myers' heartbeat. Perks take effect before add-ons, keep that in mind. He has a 16 meter heartbeat. Modern Abuse, he has an 8 meter heartbeat. 25% of 8 is 2. He now has a 6 meter heartbeat. If I take off Modern Abuse, perks go in for the heartbeat. He has a 16 meter heartbeat. No penalty to the heartbeat. 25% of 16. Taking 4 meters off the heartbeat rather than 2. So I'm getting 100% more value for it. But I have a 12 meter heartbeat instead of an 8 meter heartbeat. So you can feel the value trade-off there. Commonly known as a lot of really easily used Michael Myers add-ons are these two. This is going to allow him to stalk faster and get his preparation quicker, and it's going to allow him to have a smaller heartbeat. It's decent combo, probably one of the better combos in the game because you can get it pretty quick on Michael Myers. However, you could go double stalk as well. It does stack on top of itself, and it can be pretty devastating in the right hands if a Michael Myers. I know it says slightly increase the rate of which it stalks, but it stacks with moderately. Slightly and moderately becomes considerably faster heartbeat, or not heartbeat, sorry, considerably faster draining. You're going to get your tier 3 so freaking fast. If you wanted to go a little bit more pricey, a little bit more expensive, you do have the option to a tombstone piece. You also do have the option to, obviously, the Tough of Hair and Judas Tombstone to Mori people, but you will suffer a penalty permanently to your movement speed by that, so you can counter that with Play With Your Food. However, you can instantly kill people if you catch them. Now, the thing about Michael Myers that makes him so amazing is he has 3 stages of the Evil Within. Evil Within 1, 2, and 3. He also has add-ons that allow him to permanently stay Evil Within 1 and Evil Within 2. Right, this is called the Scratch Mirror Myers. If this allows Michael Myers to see people through walls within 32 meters. If I run this, I generally run a perk called Whispers. Now, a lot of people would turn around and go, why would you run Whispers on a perk that allows you to see somebody through the wall through 32 meters? So whenever Whispers activates, I pretty much hold the right mouse button and I look around to find a person. I'm always on somebody. Always. I'm never looking. That being said, if you are choosing to run this, you will never get out of stage 1, so you're going to be moving at 105% movement speed. So if you're running something like Play With Your Food, it'll help you a lot as well. So Play With Your Food, Nemesis can help. Also, if you're going to stack those two together, you're looking at Ruin as well. And you can go out from there. Sloppy Butcher if you don't want them to heal. Nurse's Calling, which I wouldn't recommend because you can see them through walls. Whispers for more information. Now, if you are going to be using the Scratched Mirror, you have to completely change the build. You could also look at running the Boyfriend Memo. Boyfriend Memo is going to allow you to have a longer lunge while in Tier 1. It's still a tiny lunge, but it goes that little bit further, and it's the only add-on that's going to really affect you while in Tier 1. So that's the combo there. Alternatively, if you want it to be a permanent Tier 2 Michael Myers, this is a lot weaker, believe it or not, than the Tier 1 Michael Myers. Obviously, a lot weaker than the Tier 3 Myers. However, just going to quickly point out the Tier 3 Myers, people will run this. Permanent Tier 3, and they'll run this. You stalk survivors quicker. What people don't understand about this is this allows you to stalk a survivor quicker. Say a survivor has 200 stalk. Running that does not give them any more than 200. It just means you'll drain the 200 faster. It doesn't make them have 250. So just remember that as well. You're still going to have to stalk multiple targets to be able to get this to activate. You're going to be running around with permanent Tier 3. You can instantly down people. I never even spoke about Tier 3 Michael Myers. Tier 3 Michael Myers holds his knife upside down. He still moves at 115% movement speed, but he window vaults 10% quicker. Yes, it stacks with Bamboozled, and yes, it stacks with Bamboozled and Fired Up. He becomes the window absolute champion. Having the 10% window vault on Myers means Bamboozled is a good choice. I always recommend either having Bamboozled or Modern Abuse. I prefer Modern Abuse over Bamboozled, just for consistency. If I was versing the best survivors in the world, obviously Bamboozled would be better, but even against the best survivors in the world, depending on the map, Bamboozled would be better than Modern Abuse against the best guys. However, Modern Abuse is just more consistent in terms of game to game, and it allows you to come around the corner, get your pop, and an M1 for the vast majority of cases, even against really, really good survivors. So if we're going to be moving back on here to the Vanity Mirror, this allows you to permanently stay in Stage 2, but you can never leave Stage 2. Basically, the Evil Within will reveal a survivor's aura when stalking them within 16 meters. So if you're stalking somebody through the wall, remember you have a 16 meter heartbeat while in Tier 2. Running Modern Abuse will now give me an 8 meter heartbeat. I could lower it by putting a Dead Rabbit, and that way I'll have it even smaller than 8 meter heartbeat. I'll have a 6 meter heartbeat while being able to see them from 16 meters away, so there's 10 meters I can run at them without them knowing I'm around. It's not bad. Alternatively, you can look at things that will allow you to constantly see people through the wall. I believe, there you go. Evil Within 2 reveals the survivor of an aura who's been stalked for at least 1 second. Do keep in mind, you're going to have to physically see them with the stalk. You can't stalk them through the wall. You used to be able to. You used to be able to look at them through the wall, let go of it, and then have it activate. It doesn't work like that anymore. So your best choice out of absolutely everything you could pick is probably going to be this one here, or moderately increased movement speed while stalking. It's not really going to help you out too much. If you are going to be running the Dead Rabbit, though, you can obviously take off Modern Abuse. Remember, that's going to make your heartbeat go down from 16 meters down by absolutely incredible amount. You have a very, very tiny, tiny heartbeat. I would get rid of Modern Abuse because I don't want too many diminishing returns from the Dead Rabbit, and I'd replace that with something else as well, whether that be Enduring, Brutal Strength. Bamboozle wouldn't really matter. I mean, I'm not getting the benefit from Tier 3. Keep in mind, you wouldn't want something like Infectious Fight because you're going to be having a smaller heartbeat by default as well, but you could put on something really cheeky like Horn and Ground, make your choice, Devour Hope, Nurse's Calling, but do keep in mind you can still see people through walls. Whispers wouldn't be a bad option either. Alrighty guys, if I had to pick the best loadout for Michael Myers, in my personal opinion, best loadout based on consistency, playing him often, and 4K'ing, I think this is the best build. However, if I could add add-ons to it, you know I don't use add-ons often, I would say these two are really, really good for consistency throughout every board. Obviously, Tier 3 is probably better when you get it. However, this is relying on what you can do on every map. And obviously, you guys are going to be able to know the game offering is by far the best choice. Coming around a corner with a very small heartbeat, you know, 16 meter, -8, you have a 6 meter heartbeat flying around the corner at 115% movement speed. You pop Tier 3, you down one guy, and then you go for another one. Incredibly, incredibly scary to try and verse. Alternatively, if I was going to a game offering, I would replace Pop Goes the Weasel. I'd replace Thrilling Tremor with Surge and Surveillance and keep Modern Abuse. If I wanted to keep Pop Goes the Weasel because I had multiple generators and toolboxes, I would get rid of Thrill for Surge. I'd get rid of Modern Abuse for Surveillance. I'd keep Pop Goes the Weasel, and I'd make sure I had the Dead Rabbit, and I'd deal with a 12 meter heartbeat, which is still really, really small. Depends on how good the survivors are. Keep in mind, alternatively, I could go Surge, Discordance to be able to get the jump on people as well. There are a lot of choices and options to be able to play on this board. It's just wild. It'd be very, very good for Michael Myers. Guys, if you learned something about Michael Myers, you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. Subscribing is free here on YouTube, guys. And pop over to live stream where I stream DVD 5 days a week where we do educational killer content. You guys can pop in and hopefully learn a thing or two or help me teach people about killer or survivors, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the next video or in the fog. Take care.